You're gonna need to give your initial fee, because if you try to become a student in 2 weeks after class starts, you're gonna be totally lost. Especially when I get into the law part, you're gonna be totally lost, because you're not gonna have the lessons. When I get into life, liberty, and property, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be totally lost, I promise you. And that's a small fee for getting all the research and all the books and what I'm gonna be teaching you systematically. And then your $100 membership fee. Watch what you're gonna be able to do with that, because the people is gonna determine what building we operate in, and everybody's gonna be stakeholders. Every quarter, I'm gonna show y'all where we at. We a real organization. I'm telling y'all, Moors, and how we finance is us, legally and lawfully, and the religious laws protect us. I'm telling you. So, when I told y'all that when you got to discover the hidden meanings of words, you must look into the etymology and the Moorish Quran, which was given for its divine instructions, which were messages, just like the Bible, just like any holy book. When I talk about analogy, parable, and symbology, through the prophet's lessons, as a continual reminder of the nearness and the availability of Allah's instruction that God and man is one. That God and man is one, man. Don't get it twisted. The prophet's work was to receive the divine message and to deliver the message faithfully. And a lesson from the Moorish Holy Quran in chapter 23, verse 13, teaches him science, and his life shall be useful, right? The divine prophet's approach. All the messages. When I teach messages, we speak in parables. A story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson, Moors. And this was done so that thought, when I talk about use your hippocampus, which must be developed by the exercise of strength to receive the message through that lesson. Man, don't the physical testify to the things that hasn't been seen? I'm paraphrasing scripture. That's why when I talk about the SO and the XO, when more like to say what's above is below. And I say, well, what do it mean? Break it down. Break it down what it means to your physical body, and then break it down what it means to this nature. Break it down. We can't. We got it. This must be applicable. This science we teach must be able to be used. That's why Moors don't understand when they say, you think back then they were able to move mountains? Absolutely. If you understand the science of what he's saying, because everything operates on vibrations, absolutely, we can do a whole bunch of things. If we're operating together, if our bass drum is on the same frequency, absolutely we can move mountains. If we're trying to do a particular task, absolutely. That's why the strong bear the infirmities of the weak. That's why in business, when I teach business, we do a SWOT analysis. When I taught that to some business students, they were like, man, you should be teaching all these classes. I said, you're going to learn in my school if you want to learn. You can go to the basic education, but you should get it through me. I said, you need to do a SWOT analysis on yourself. They'd be like, what you mean a SWOT analysis? In business, that's strength. That's your strength. A weakness, opportunity, threat. You need to know what your strength is. You need to work through the weakness, because the strong bear the infirmity of the weak. That's one body in many parts when we're working together. So your strength and the opportunity to work through those weaknesses and turn into a strength. But strength, weakness, opportunity, the opportunity to what? Be great. Threat, what? No threat. Y'all ain't understanding it. And see, the science is, and when you a thinker and when you do advanced studies, they want you to always put yourself in a lower category. But see, when you start bubbling and when you start operating on a higher frequency, you're like, man, it ain't no weakness about me. I work through that. Boom, 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 boom. Well, you got to think outside the box. No, I don't need to think outside the box. Why am I think outside the box and I got all the tools in the toolbox? I got all my workman tools. I'm not going to think outside the box. You got to be crazy. What I'm gonna think out the box for? And I'm creating the great God. I got all the tools I got all the workman tools. Thinking outside no box. And see, and that's what I tell our youth. Watch the play. They always want you to, what's your weaknesses? I don't have any weaknesses. You don't have none? Absolutely not. I'm dedicated. Well, do you feel, well, are you weak? I ain't weak at that. Why? Because I worked on that. I know where I'm weak at. I have a force field around that. My cup runneth over. Why? Can't no B to the S get in it. That's how. That's why my cup run over. My cup run over because can't no crap get in it. But But when we talk about a story is used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson, it was done so that thought, which must be developed by the exercise of strength to receive the message through the lesson. As you know, the system of education is not what it should be. Sorry about that. So, we hope our beacon of light, we hope that operates. But there is no failure for the human soul, y'all. For Allah, the God within, is leading on, and victory is guaranteed. That's whatever has been made will be unmade. That which begins must end. And this is a process that the mind must go through in order to decipher, decode, or translating the cipher, a secret or a disguised way of writing a code. When I talk about gematria, when I be like, Morris, you don't understand nothing you're saying if you don't understand the language. So you got to be understand. It's a language, just like it's a business language, just like it's a thing talking in circles. Man, I'm be like, man, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I know you don't. That's why a person should be a student. And when I talk about double talking, more don't even know what I mean when I say double talking. And it's a business language. If you don't know business language, man, you will get robbed. If you don't know the analogy and parable, the symbology, if you don't know the context of the words that somebody's saying, you will be lost. Just like I tell Moors, you cannot interpret Hebrew to basic English. Why? Because it can mean 10 different things depending on that context. Research that. This is a study. This is not play. That's why a lot of Moors be like, well, I don't believe it. And I say, I don't give a damn what you believe. Who cares what you believe? You ain't studied nothing. Especially you ain't cross-referenced nothing. This is what I know. This language is vast in many ways to see its real hidden words within itself. That's right. These teachers of science throughout withheld some of its deepest lessons, like numerology. When I ask them more and I say, well, what is more science? What is the Quran based on? They say, finding yourself. And I say, well, that's just one attribute. I say it's a multiple of things. Well, it's finding yourself. I say, but what is the Quran? What is the Quran? What is it teaching? Give me some I can eat. Don't give me some stuff that's basics, that's the general. Just like when you see the G and it comes in the square, you say God. I was like, man, no. Because you're rolling with the exoteric. It's another meaning. So when I ask them more, what does the Quran really based off? They don't know. And I'll be telling them more, I can rather deal with somebody that say they don't know instead of just make up a whole bunch of stuff. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't argue with no fool. I shake your hand and block you and delete you. And you can't talk to me never again because you won't even humble yourself. You don't know. You believe, and your belief is based on a lie. You belying your belief. You belying in your belief. And your belief is based on what? B to the S. Or a westernized perspective. So when I ask the Quran is knowledge, order, rhythm, astronomy, astrology, nature. So if you can't break that down, that's just the lower level of the Quran, which is our more science Quran is about. When we talk about the different manifestations of the teachings, you out of pocket. But its teachers of science throughout the time withheld some in its deepest lessons like numerology, which is the hidden meaning of the numbers and letters. This ties in with sound and vibration. The power of definition was created for the study of what? Self only. That's what I tell y'all. This is a study. You see, when you get with me, nobody's going to be able to pull linguistic apartheid on you. Not your fake brother with a sheik on that's going to come with a smile, with a knife at the same time. Nah, you're going to be able to have a force pull on him and push him back with love. Especially you come with that garbage trying to sell you something. All they want to do is sell you something. All words in this science, when we talk about in these books, and all the symbols are presented to open the mind into self-awareness for your personal salvation. That's why I defend the system that I'm using by revealing a combination of numerology, symbology, metaphysical, and allegory. Symbolism is the practice of art of using an object or a word to represent an abstract idea more. An act, person, place, or word or object can all have a symbolic meaning. Synonyms are emblem, representation, figure, image, sign, all the same thing. I hope y'all following this science, man. A figure of speech is often where an object, person, or situation has another meaning. Now we're talking about duality, other than its what? Literal meaning. The actions of character, word, action, or event that have a what? Deeper meaning in context of the what? Whole story. So when we talk about metaphysical, referring to an what? Idea, a doctrine, or what? Reality. Outside of what? Human sense, or out of your perception. The philosophy or study that uses what? Broad concepts to do what? Help define reality and or what? Understand of it. So when we talk about metaphysically, or with those studies, they generally seek to do what? Explain inherent or universal elements of what? Reality, which are not easily discovered or experienced in our everyday life mores. It uses logic based on the meaning of human terms rather than a logic that's tied to human perception of the objective world. Oh man, y'all ain't listening to me, man. The metaphysics might include the study of nature of the human mind. Now we're talking about that cerebrum and that cherubim. Oh, come on, man. The definition and the meaning of the existence or the nature of space, time, and or causality. Fate, karma, destiny. Allegory, a story, a poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. Synonyms are what? Metaphor, parable, symbol, emblem, color symbolism. Color is a vital component of many different symbols, mores, and many colors have a deep symbolism. They are used to decipher emotions. When you see something that's caution, ain't it always red? I'm hope I'm sparking something. Listen to me. When you see something caution, ain't it always red? Follow me. Follow me. They are used to depict emotion, personality, and feelings, and many colors have mystical properties associated with them. Just like you was asking a minute ago more about the chakra, but I'm gonna break that down. It's your ajna. We're gonna break it down. The rainbow consists of 7 colors. I'll be talking about your chakras all through it, but more is not connecting it. That's why I said more science is a synchronicity of all the science, the zodiac laws, the astrological signs, craftsmanship. That's why I said I want to open up your whole chamber of thinking. Because when you open up your whole chamber of thinking, you done got all your chakras in the science. You done got all of it. The rainbow consists of 7 colors. Colors are not what it is, but what it gives away. There are only 3 major colors: red, green, and blue. Everything that is physical reflects light, mores. It will have no color to your perception. So what you reflect will be your color. What you hold will not be your color. So the color that you reflect will add to your aura that you carry. Oh man, come on. That's why black reflects nothing it holds, but everything. Let me say that again. That's why black reflects nothing. It holds back everything. So just like in the color spectrum, in school they taught you everything comes from white. No, everything goes from dark. Y'all ain't even catching that. But when you get with real science, when you get in class, you're going to get real science. The 7 thoughts of wisdom. He who knows not and strives to know is a seeker. Aid him. That's why we're creating a school. Listen. This is the SO of this is our word book for our Moorish Quran. That's how I know Moors don't understand the Quran. And then I'm going to break down the power of the definition color of the what? Our Quran. We're going to break this science down. 7 thoughts of wisdom. He who knows not and strive to know is a seeker. Aid him. That's why I created the school. This is not no sacrifice. This is a choice. We adults, we choose to do what we have finances, but we choose to do with them. So if it's not important to you, then I'm not talking to you. Because in the new year, all it's going to be over. All of it. No messages on here, nothing. I mean, you might see a little snippet on Instagram or a snippet on my IG page, but all this, over. He who knows not what he should know is a wanderer. Guide him I'm trying to do that. He who knows not that he should know is asleep. Wake him. That's what I'm doing. He who knows not and fears to know is enslaved. Free him. He who knows not and rejects to know is dead. Pass him. Did y'all hear what I just said? So when I say, and I use my own analogies, some people gonna fall just like the Titanic. Some people that's dry dead bones. I ain't trying to teach no old dog no new tricks that don't want to learn how to jump backwards. You think you know everything? You got to fall with the Titanic. He who knows not and rejects to know is dead. Pass him. That's the walking dead. You physically alive, but you spiritually dead. That's when I said I can smell it on you. What? Just like you've been drinking alcohol. Just like you come with that bull to the crowd with me. I smell it on you. I'm gonna walk right past you. Your feds don't mean nothing to me. Come to me with that garbage and I'm gonna see what happened with me. I'm gonna call it right out of your face. I don't care who you with. Don't come with me with no garbage. He who knows not and rejects to know is dead. Pass him. Pass him. He who knows not yet claims to know is an imposter. Shun him. Do you hear what these teachers saying? When somebody talk about, oh, he got to be nice. Who told you to be nice? Because I ain't nice. All I'm supposed to be is noble, righteous, honorable, love my family, which is an action word. Be just, do my charitable work, and love all fallen humanity. All fallen humanity. I ain't nice. Ain't nothing nice about me. He who knows, not yet claims to know, is an imposter. So these more, what now? Let me break that down in layman terms. Shun him. For the ones talking about, I study the teachers of more science, and then they be dissing stuff. And I said, well, let's break down this lower science. They don't know nothing. They don't even have the Moore's Quran. They talk about they study black laws. Man, they trying to show you how to be a damn criminal. Go on with that. That ain't more science. That's law. And in a court of law, there's no excuse of not knowing the law. What's happening to you is being fraudulently concealed. That's what's happening. Because everything is a doc number, precedent in case. The Free Information Act. That's all you got to do. When some person come with that garbage, look them up. They domestic terrorists. I just told y'all, just like the feds got the drug task force online, they got the same thing with these goofball domestic terrorists. They got your place, they got you on the internet talking all that goofy domestic terrorist stuff. I sat back, was like, holy crap. How? From my connections. Because I'm honorable. Man, more science is older than me. More science is older than you. That's why I be laughing. That's why I be like, man, these Negroes criminals. They got all them goofballs in their database talking all that domestic terrorist stuff, especially that expatriation. All that crap. All of them going to jail. It's a thing called the RICO law. Once they enforce it, they just sit back, watching, laughing like, look at these Negroes. They falling for this stuff? Yes. They got a whole database of all goofballs. Period. So you don't got to listen to me. He who knows and shares what he knows is wise. Heed him. I'm sharing this science. I'm testing the spirit. I'm telling Morris, this is the higher science. You should be willing to be a student. Only thing that's going to cost you, no disrespect, is being stupid. Because once you buy all that stuff, once you follow all them goofballs, next year you're going to be in the same level. Your kids going to be on the same level. Nobody's going to know nothing. But he who knows and shares what he knows is wise. You must heed him. That's why the power of definition cover. Watch this. The power of definition cover. The original colors of the Moorish Holy Quran are for a significant reason. Do any Moors know the significant reason? Watch this. But they're going to give you all this stuff about, oh, some man. Do anybody know? Do anybody know? Do anybody know? All the Moors that talk about they study the Moorish Quran, well, you should know everything about this. Just like every holy book. The original colors of the Moorish Holy Quran are for a significant reason. Do y'all know the colors? I'm about to break them down. If you don't know the colors, talk to me. Say yes or no. Do y'all know what the colors mean? Somebody talk to me. And I'm talking about all the colors. We talk about the balloons and everything. Do y'all know what the colors mean? Yes or no? Do anybody know? Do anybody know? Can anybody break down the original colors of the Moorish Quran are for a significant reason? Can anybody break it down? See, these are the things when I be telling Moors, why are you afraid to ask? And that's what I be telling Moors. All Moors, they get caught, they get the lying, and they get the but. I'm like, man, stop lying to me, and stop lying to my people. Stop lying to the people. Stop getting people caught up as domestic terrorists. None of that crap is Moorish science. That's a mixture of their own crap. And I'm telling you, the law forces know. I done did the lecture about Moors confused about navigation. This is no mystery, man. It's Negroes in jail right now. I'm a divine minister. I know Moors don't have the literature, man. I know Moors don't have, and then I got a whole bunch more, a plethora of old science. Especially when I started teaching about synchronicity and the Baphomet, all the pious figures they use when I come from my Egyptian manuscript. When I show you how they connotated all the science, Adam Blavatsky, Eliphas Crowley, how he gave his name Serapis Bey, all twisted teachings. So, when I talk about the original colors of the Moorish Quran, the red is thought to symbolize fire and is associated with power, importance, energy, strength, determination, and love. Red is a very emotional, intense color. It enhances human metabolism, increases respiration rate, and raises the blood pressure. Red also is used to indicate courage. It is a color found in many national flags. So watch this. In business, what do we like to be in? In business. Watch how I show you how when I talk about the first become last and the last become first. When I tell people things can mean different things in business. So in business, what does a red mean? So this is what I be teaching where I said, how can you be going to some place and you don't even know what the basic colors of the Quran is, and you don't even have the basic teachings what I'm giving. They don't speak about the silent brotherhood of the East, and they dissing something. How? So when I say what's the colors of the Quran represent, and these for the Moors that say they go to the temple and they study, and I'm like, you out of pocket. You're not studying the Moorish Quran. You studying something else. And when I break that down, I say, where does it talk about some Muhammad? How many times did it say in the Quran with the Q? How many times did it talks about Jesus? And how many times did it talks about Muhammad? How many times? Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. Now you see, brother TV Bay. Now you see what I'm saying, brother TV Bay? How when Moors don't understand the context or the category of what we be in, they'll take something and miss it. And I say, I can get you caught up in what? The certain language. Because in the business language, certain things mean different. Are you following me, brother TV Bay? You see what I'm saying? Brother TV Bay, understand where I'm coming from when I tell people words have duality depending on the context of how you're using them. Just like when I was given from our silent brotherhood of the East and some other teachings when I'm like, what does gay mean? When I was using that context. And gay mean just a jubilee, having a good time. That's right. So we got to understand the context. Islam. So that's what I be telling Moors. They take things totally out of context and they not synchronizing stuff. They talk about they studying this Quran. I say, well, what is it about? They say the 18 missing years. I say the 18 missing years of what? When he was doing what? What happened? Because they don't have this. They don't share this with the people. They don't share all the teachings. They don't share the catechism for understanding the Moorish Holy Quran, which I broke down yesterday, which you're going to get in school. They ain't breaking down the SO science of the WordBook, but we finna finish. Red is through the symbol of fire. Okay, I gave you all that. Red also is used to indicate courage. It is a color found in many national flags. You see how a person that connotates you with a westernized perspective? What the red represent? Because when death come, you don't turn black. See, black represents the melanin. Black represents the melanin. And one of the contexts of the biblical scriptures, 666 means 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. You see what I'm saying? So white represents the life is gone. But then in a certain context, if you understand the context, white means purity. When we're talking about a pure color. And it ain't got nothing to do with the nationality. And that's where Moors be getting it caught up. But it's a color found in many national flags. Blue is hope and good health. It is often associated with the deep and stability. It symbolizes trust, loyalty, and wisdom, confidence, intelligence, faith, truth, and heaven. State of mind. Blue is considered beneficial to the mind and body. It slows human metabolism and produces a calm effect. What you say, Mom? Red badge of courage. There is a navel of that also. That's right, a novel. That's right. See, my mama always gonna give you scholarship. Always. Blue is strongly associated with what? Tranquility and calmness. in what? In heraldry. Blue is used to symbolize piety and sincerity. White symbolizes purity. White is associated with light, goodness, and innocence. It is the color of perfection and has a positive connotation. White can represent a successful beginning. In heraldry, white depicts faith and purity. Red, blue, and white that are merged together becomes what? Purple. Purple combines the stability of blue and the energy of red, Moors. Purple is associated with what? Royalty, and it symbolizes power, nobility, and ambition. Purple is associated with wisdom, dignity, independence, creativity, mystery, and magic. So when we talk about that Quran, Moors, he read, the render, provide, or give, contribute a moral service of what has taken place in the consciousness of man, Moors, of the results of his workings, either what? Intelligently with the law or unintelligently against it, in seeing his own salvation. It gives an explanation of spiritual laws, Moors, as applied to man and woman, and tells them how to find the kingdom of heaven within. The spiritual analysis of the Exoscience workbook that I'm giving y'all for the Moorish Holy Quran is prepared for this reason. It's things, if you don't know the words, you must have a map and a guide. How you just gonna make something up? What preachers do and which most Negroes do. Here go a word that you don't understand. You just gonna say, well, it mean this. Just like, for instance, in the biblical scriptures, I think it's Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. I might be, don't quote me on that. It might be Matthew chapter 5, verse 12. But if y'all can find that scripture, in the scripture it says, it's fulfilled, it's finished. We're not under the law no more. And see, in order way to get out the fire, you got to be in the fire. I done been through all the fire. I done been through the religious houses. I go and correct scripture just like the Messiah was doing. And in that context, that word don't mean fulfilled. That word is a Greek word, which is most of the English language is based off of. And that word is Pelero, P-L-E-E-R-O. And that word means to magnify, to glorify, to bring back to his remembrance. That's why, because he was going in it, and the teaching was like, hey, you teaching false things. So I got to come back and glorify and bring this back to your remembrance. Stop lying to the people, because you are dressed up with all your trinkets, looking like a goddamn court jester. 5:17. Please. You see? The meaning of the seed from a divine essence, and the body signifies as human beings. Holy temple of science. Holy, that is whole, complete, holistic, relating to whole, including or involving all of something, especially all of somebody's physical, mental, and social condition, not just physical symptoms. In the treatment of illness, Moors. Temple, which means to redeem mental body. Also, a temple is about empowering us. Science is the systematic and orderly arrangement of knowledge, Moors, which is the orderly arrangement of truth, of being, thus not always conform to the intellectual standards, but it is still scientific. And this spiritual science, it treats of absolute ideas, Moors, while mental science treats of limited thoughts. It is an operation of the human spirit mind in its endeavor to understanding how the things, or how of these things, like when we see the seven, when we see this seven, the symbol of the circle represents aught when closed, no beginning, no end. When the four breaks are open, it signifies the four dimensions of what, Moors? Our mind, intellect, identity, memory, and intelligence. The seven indicates the senses of a change after as accomplished cycle of a positive renewal, Moors. It is the sign of the perfected man and the symbol of divine abundance. It expresses the creation, Moors, within which the man, which is the one man, evolves. The symbol of the infinite number seven is the spiritually, the mysticism, the wisdom, and the success. Are y'all rocking with me? If y'all rocking with me, say, peace, my brother. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom alaikum. Peace be with you. Something. more power to you, something. Talk to me, y'all awake. Talk to me, man. In Africa, a Kibbalah, a Mexamum, whatever you want to call it, for the Egyptians, it symbolized a complete cycle, a dynamic perfection. And for the Dogon tribe, they considered the number 7 as the symbol of the union of opposites, of the revolution of what? Dualism. 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 Dualism is what? Duality. It is also the mark of the master of the word. For the Brahmas of Senegal, 7 is a symbol of the perfection and the unity. More of I keep telling y'all, Hotep Noble, I keep telling y'all, it's all about stripping you of your nationality. They want to say Islam, but they ain't gonna tell you Mohammedans. They like to say Jew, and we the original Jews, but they ain't gonna tell you that that's Nigeria, the Igbo and the Igbo of Nigeria. I'm telling you, which is where? The continent of Africa. A Kibbalah, I keep telling y'all, north, south, east, west. It's all about you. But you letting somebody get you in your lower self and get you acting like y'all all different people. This to the South Africa, okay? And you come from here, and then you get to the north, you think there's gonna be a cutoff, and then everybody gonna start looking different. You got to be the crazy. What type of fool is you in Dick Gregory voice? What type of fool is you? What type of fool is you? Oh, you in a big continent, you somewhere, and noonie, you and your family walking, and y'all get to the, you're in the north, and y'all get to the so-called the east region, and bam, everybody look totally different. Man, what type of fool is you? That don't even make sense. The indigenous Pueblo of America, the number 7 represents the cosmic coordinates of man. A Tibetan manuscript has a title, The 7 Books of Wisdom of the Great Path. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? That's why I say it's a lot of teaching. It's the holy books that teach. They lying to y'all. I got the Guadalupe Buddha, which sits on the 7 serpents, which they call the Nagas people. I'm telling you, man, it's a connection. It's a synchronicity. The Africans of Asia, you missing a damn point. It's a Tibetan manuscript, The 7 Books of Wisdom of the Great Path. The Buddha that sits on the 7 serpents. The Buddha would have taken the measure of the universe by making 7 steps in each of the 4 directions. The man is composed of 7 bodies: physics, etheric, vital, emotional or astral, casual, mental, body of divine vitality, and the body of divine spirit. 7 is a mystic number traditionally associated with Venus and more recently with Neptune. It is the number of feelings and of instinct, of the group mind of love. Venus, she will present balance, devotion, desire, creativity, and love associated with what? Our holy day, Friday, which is the 7th day of the week. The element is air. Neptune, water element, attributes our what? Intuition, psychic, invention, magic, perception, psychology, philosophy, esotericism, occult, imagination, mysticism, emotion, shadow, hidden side of life. And you telling me that these signs are symbols, and you telling me you some adept and you studying more science. No, you're not. No, you're not. Divinely is an adjective that's around circa 1300 of the nature of the universal creator. Prepare, which is a verb around the mid-15th century or circa. Make ready beforehand. Make ready beforehand. Drew, D-R-W, D-R-E-W. Wise, numerology, soul surge. The number is 5. This name have a deep inner desire for travel and adventure and want to set their own pace in life without being governed by tradition. Ali, Arabic, high elevated. Just like in the scriptures, when I'm synchronizing things. Always in the biblical scriptures, when they went elevated, when they got in their higher self, and when you see the outward appearance of a higher self, they was always on a higher structure, separating themselves. Y'all ain't listening. Allah, Arabic, high elevated, one that have a deep inner desire to use their abilities in leadership and to have personal independence. They would rather focus on large, important issues and delegate the details. Guiding, a noun, mid-14th century. One who shows the way. Allah is the proper name of the divine being, universal creator. Great is an adjective, 15th century, 15th circa, of ability, quality, or immense considerability, above the normal or average. Great spirit, Ojiboa, Kichi, Manitou. Universe is a noun. 1580. The whole world, cosmos, totality of existing things. Redeem is a verb. Early 15th circa. Deliverer from sin and mental death. I hope y'all following what I'm saying. Sinful is a noun. Wrongful thinking. Sinful is a noun. Wrongful thinking that leads to committing an awful immoral act. Huh? Let's put this in layman terms. Fallen stage. Fallen from where? A point, a period of life, or step in a process or development which leads one into a mental and moral downfall. Fallen from a point. What point? A point of consciousness. A point where you was operating in your higher self. I just told you. Physically alive, but what? Spiritually and mentally dead. You a walking zombie. You a walking zombie. Somebody talk to me. Humanity is a noun. Late 14th circa. Human conduct or human nature. State or quality of being human. Your highest plane. The seventh plane of existence is what? Pure love always. Super conscious and the highest truth. Now watch this. Now watch this, y'all. This is when I tell Moors, I know they're not studying a Moors Quran because they dissing something. And I just showed you all in our Silent Brotherhood of the East. What does it talk about? What does our Silent Brotherhood of the East talk about? Moors be like, I don't even know what that means. I don't have it. They don't share it. Life and works of Jesus in India. Life and works of Jesus and Joseph Home at the age of 7 years. The life and works of Jesus at the age of 10 years. Jesus walks the rabbi of the 10 commandments. Jesus talks with the rabbi of the 10 commandments. Jesus again, his first year of divine ministry. Jesus presented with his camel, goes to Lahore where he abides. Again, Elihu's lesson, the mystery of Egypt, the council of the seven of the world, opening address of Jesus with the 7 sages, 7 days of silence, meeting of the 7 sages to make law for the coming of the ages. Jesus reveals the marriage law of man and wife from Allah. Jesus explains to Casper the meaning of the silent and the wisdom of Allah. Jesus' holy answer to Lammas. Jesus receives the mystic name and number and passes the adapt chamber. Jesus passes the second brotherhood of test. Then the third one. Then the fourth one. And Jesus passes the 5th adapt degree. And then Jesus takes the 6th degree and passes the 6th adapt. And then the adapt chamber of death. The mysteries of Egypt. Then Jesus, the prophet, had finished his task and must now go. Jesus, the prophet, had finished his task and must now go to the Son of Men with love, divine, and peace on earth. Jesus received the news of his father's death. Writes a letter to his mother. What y'all talking about? If y'all studying the Moorish Quran, what y'all talking about? And then you're not even understanding the essence of it. Now watch this. Genealogy. Now, early 14th circa. Generation, descendant. Watch this. The study of the basic physical unit of heredity, along with information within the DNA that provides the coded instructions for the unlearned mind. The unlearned, when I be telling Moors, I would say you're not illuminated. We talking about mastermind stuff. This is thought process. And how you say you're part of the Moorish Science Temple and you don't know what I'm saying? You're not. You're just part of a whole bunch of people with affairs on. But the DNA that provides the coded instructions for the unlearned mind, the passing of the physical or mental, which when translates into leads to the expression of characteristics genetically from one generation to another. When I talk about Genesis, when I break it down scientifically, and I'm like, we're talking about genes. If somebody wrote a book about a particular family and they wrote your story, the first thing you're going to diss it because the person that bust you across the head is telling you your story. And I told you the copy copied you. What you mean? Everywhere. Because the genetics and the geographical landmass prove what this text is about. I tell Moors, I don't give a damn what Bible you get. Get any Bible. Get me any King James Version Bible. I'm going to tell you, look right in a New Testament. I'm going to tell you, look right at that map of Africa, Kibalan, and look on that map. And then I'm going to ask you what landmass is on there. You're going to say, damn, these are all the 12 tribes. I'm going to say, now, let's connect it to the people. Simple science. Simple science. So who told you? You've been taught wrong. And then I just showed you that the Nation of Islam is just they continuing something that was already established. It's a continuation. I just broke this down. Y'all missing it. What the Muslims believe. They believe in the one God whose proper name is Allah. They believe in the Holy Quran and in the scriptures of all the laws and prophets of God. All the laws and prophets of God. We believe in the truth of the Bible. Me too. But we believe that it has been tampered with and must be reinterpreted so that mankind will not be snared by the falsehoods that have been added to it. Me too. But I'm finna show y'all how religion always want to throw something else into y'all. Some mystery God, some pie in the sky. And then your own brothers and sisters that promulgate that black man religion stuff, they come with a mystery too. But see, my Messiah look like me. My Messiah, I know what words mean. We believe that Allah, God, appeared in the person, Master W. Fire Muhammad. And then when you ask the Muslim, we ain't never seen him. He bull crap. You can find, you arguing about all this old stuff, Imhotep, and all these people, and the scripture says, how can you love man you never seen him? I mean, love God that you never seen him, but you hate man. And you going to argue over a whole bunch of stuff you ain't seen, but then Fire Muhammad was a real person, and then you want to get all caught up in your feathers when you know what that was all about? Talk about that they say that we believe in Allah, God appeared in the person of Fire Muhammad, of Master W. Fire Muhammad, July 1930, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. Come on, man, that's too prophetic. You should be checking that. I gotta keep saying that. Cause see, this is the thing, when you learn something, you gotta keep saying it over and over before a person can get it. That's too much science. So if that's saying that, what is it telling you? All the law and prophet, they traveled the whole Mediterranean, and what you did is just picked up the torch. Like I'm picking up the torch after my dad. I ain't created nothing. He picked up the torch. It's telling you, man.
Well, I stayed back a long time and I didn't turn it.
But the DNA that provides the coded instructions for the unlearned mind, the passing of the physical or the mental, which when translated into, leads to the expression of characteristics genetically from one generation to another. How? Jesus, late 12th circa, is the Greek form of Joshua, from late Latin, Iesus, I-E-S-U-S, from Greek, Iesous, I-E-S-O-U-S, Aramaic, proper name, Jehus, or Jeshua, J-E-S-H-U-A, in the Hebrew, Yeshua, Y-E-S-H-U-A, or Yahshua. Deliverance through what? Jehovah. Life is a noun. Existence, way of life. Perseverance. Perseverance, Works, late 14th century. Someone's deeds, acts that the things one has done in life. Demonstrations or virtue, the example of his life. India, 1947. Watch this. India is a country in South Asia whose name comes from what? Indus River. The true name, Bharatha, is used as a what? Designation for the country. I'm showing you how you connect stuff in the scripture. Where you be like, it's talking about one particular landmass, one particular family. The land was therefore known as what? Bharatavarsha. When we talk about the Brahmins and stuff, the subcontinent of what? Bharata. Ancient history. Evidence of the existence of the further discoveries have established fairly clear migration patterns of the people out of Africa, and the expression of India suggests an understanding and adoration of that which is of spirit, law, of being. Africa, the name Africa, which was originally used by the Romans. However, they have changed the spelling, which in turn would change the meaning. The correct name is Africa, A-F-R-U. I-K-A, the true meaning, the motherland. And this was the only northwest part of the land, and not the whole continent, Moors. That's why when you research a Moorish brother by the name of Al-Hassan ibn Muhammad al-Wasani, give the name Africa to the part of the land before the Christian army captured him, and they named him Leo Africanus. I'm telling y'all, man, Africa ain't named after no European. I done did this lecture a million times. Hassan was a chronicle writer, traveler, geographer, historian, a diplomat, and a teacher. In Europe, 522 BCE, you may find a fiction story behind the origin of this name. Watch this. Nevertheless, here is a short, true historical event that was told during the 12th and the 15th century. A beautiful Moorish princess named Europa, E-U-R-O-P-A, from Morocco, was admired for her wisdom and beauty. Later on, she was kidnapped by a German tribe and brought to their land, which is called Europe today, Moors. In later years, they named the land after her simply because of the obsession of her radiant, of her existence. Therefore, Europa was placed on the old maps of the world. Look, I'm about to show you. When I say you dealing with modern. You ain't dealing with nothing ancient or nothing historic. You ain't dealing with nothing historic. You just dealing with somebody that's talking. And they not talking no more science. The divine instructions from our holy prophet. And I'm going to stop. Sultan. Noun, Arabic, 1550s. Abstract noun meaning strength, authority, rulership, government, politics, and diplomacy. The sovereign of a Muslim country, and especial of the former Ottoman Empire. Abdul, Arabic, servant of the universal creator. Aziz, Arabic, to be powerful or to cherish, respect, beloved. Ibn, Arabic, son of. Saud, Arabic, gladness. The Sultan, Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud, 1880 to 1953. The founder of the first king of the Saudi Arabia, 1932 to 1953. But I'm just giving you a crash course. But he was captured. He captured the holy city of Mecca, and ending the 700 year of the Hashemite rule. On January 8th, 1926, the leaders of Mecca, Medina, y'all got to know what I'm talking about, and Jeddah proclaimed Ibn Saudi king of Hijaz. Noble Drew Ali was born January 8th, 1886, after announcing his prophethood in 1925 in the same year. And the prophet set up our Moorish Science Temple. Then in 1927, the Moorish Holy Quran was published with a picture of Ibn Saudi on one side and the prophet on the other. Right? That's what I'll be asking more. I'll be like, do y'all know what y'all looking at? Or you don't even know what's going on. I'll be like, Moors don't even know what's going on with studies. I'm like, how can you say you know something? You're not studying everything. The prophet has his right hand over his heart, and when you turn the page, you will see his hand covering Ibn Saudi's mouth, and this demonstrates was to let America know that Noble Drew Ali speaks on the behalf of Islamism. I ain't say no Al-Islam, American Islam. I leave y'all with this, Moors. 18 in numerology. The sign will be 9. I keep talking about what this phase represents. 9 to the 9th to the 9th power. When Moors talk about supreme mathematics, and I say, well, let's break it down. They can't, because it ain't applicable. 18 in numerology, the sign will be 9, and 9 is the symbol of humanity. It has been called the goal-setting number. The 1 reference to the self, its accomplishments and feelings. The 8 refers to the physical endurance, rhythm, and movement. The 9 have a natural instinct toward law, and it likes law and order. And 9, understanding love, is the highest sense. It sees only good, even in faults. I'm gonna leave y'all with that, Morris, because I'm not gonna get in all the teaching. This is what you're gonna get when you be a part of the school. I ain't even got into when I tell you it's a Koranic study guide. When I break the Koranic study guide, when I break this Quran down in molecules, in pieces, and then I build it back up. When I start showing you all the different holy books in science and metaphysics, and with the Brahmas and the Vistas and the Buddha that sat on the 7 serpents, when I start breaking down all this more science, you're going to be like, man, they lied to you. And I'll be like, yep, they all lied. And it's just what it is. You can't get mad at that, because they want to hide stuff from you. When I talk about unto thee I grant, and I say our Moorish Quran, a lot of stuff come from ancient manuscripts. They're not going to share it. I deal with the source. I deal with the source of things, man. You got to understand what the source of things are and can't get mad. I break stuff down over and over and over when I be telling Moors how our prophet traveled through this competence square the same way I did. And we traveled through the Masonic order until we became nobles. And I ain't talking about no European Masonic. Y'all don't even know, Moors not even catching it. Who represent Islam in the West. Our prophet did. And then I tell Moors, these are lectures that I did so many times. Does this mean that Moorish Americans should seek to become Masons and Shriners? Absolutely not. I tell y'all, we go through the shrine or the adapt chamber. They're not disconnecting it. They want to diss something to you. And I say, words have duality. I've been teaching y'all this. The shrine and the adapt chamber is the same thing. They're not telling y'all this. There is no longer any need to go through no shrine to be a part of no black masonry, because our prophet gave you 32 and 33 degrees and your divine instruction number 2. I tell y'all this all the time. When the turban and the mithra, which is the turban, was placed on your crown, or you're captive. That's why I said it's supposed to be something under this fez. You know, who amongst you in the highest of Rome enter al-Islam by practice? Masons. I'm telling you, man, at what degree? 32. I'm telling y'all science. What's the password? Assalamu alaikum. So how can a password be a holy word? Because they study you to a T. And that's why they sons of Muslims. Y'all not catching it. And that's when I tell you a Mason bows to his knees to Islam, proclaiming that Allah is God, becoming a practicing Muslim. Al-Islam, the same way that the Negro Masons do. So you doing the same thing as Christianity and Al-Islam do, studying something outside of yourself. So how can you say you studying more science? And in more science, God and man is one. That's an oxymoron. Islamism is universal law in harmony with the self, resulting in peace, the science and study of self-mastery, that Allah and man are one. And al-Islam, being the Arabic for peace, which was perfected by Muhammad in the course, and the Arabic has since been unlike Islamism, that our Prophet Noble Ali has been brought like catechism. And I show y'all, I give y'all history. You can't get mad with landmass, and you can't get mad with the teachings. They just giving you slave teachings. I'm giving you master teachings. I'm going to show you all in the Quran when I talk about our more salat, when certain stuff was for the slave to do. And it was for the God. If you say you God, it wasn't for you to go out and pray all day until you sweating. That wasn't for you. I'm telling you. And that's how they keep you mentally in slavery. But I'm going to liberate you. I love y'all. The syllabus is going to be out soon. I'm just waiting, man. I hope y'all be students. Because the only way you're going to be a student unless you get the science. What you say more? There are billboard advertisements for European Masons down here in Florida territory. Noble, I keep telling y'all, man, let me tell y'all something. I know a master Mason at the mall I work with. And when he saw me, he had on his Harama beef. He see all my signs and symbols when he saw my elephant with the fez on it. And I'm telling him, we say says don't just be a man, be a Mason. And when I'm telling you all the stuff, man, in our adapt wisdom, I showed you all that stuff is mystic stuff. Harama beef is you. They buried you in a shallow grave. I done did these lectures all over and over. I show you who Harama beef is. I show you where the science come from. I break it down. That's why I be telling people to follow the context. When I talk about what does clandestine mean, I don't understand. Moors don't be listening. And I broke the whole lecture about the Daughters of American Revolution when I tell you who is really the Eastern Stars. When I break everything down about clandestine and why they wear black and why everything done in secrecy. When I tell you the copy Jew. When I tell you this comedic science. Why they fez have to be defiled. Why they tassel pinned down. I don't wear the fez in clandestine. This is your national and your birthright. I show you in the Constitution where they stripped it from you. So then I show Moors why you won't wear your fez. And I told you that any lower level Mason that's Prince Hall, Scottish Rite, I don't give a damn what right they are, they don't know anything. Why? Because the teachings are borrowed from them. All they know is they got a potentate and some man over them. So how can you say you study more science? Because you are more by birthright. I'm not dissing that. You are who your foremothers and forefathers are. But it's another thing that what? You gave up your birthrights by studying something that's not from you. And I'm telling you, why would you? And I show you that the European Mason, they got their charter. I'm telling you, that's why they only 32 and 33 degrees. I keep breaking the science down. I show you their literature. Man, I showed y'all their ancient noble literature. It's only 32 degrees and when it established in 1914. And then I show you the prophet when all the brothers that started the temple with all the Masonic groups and the secret societies, it was in the 1800s. I done did that. So if I can show you the teaching from our prophet and all the Moors, that was the ancient nobles in the 1800s. And then I show you the European paperwork and they talk about they some ancient nobles and they in the 1940 and they only 32 and 33 degrees. What that tell you? This simple science. This is simple science. That's why I tell more. The only way you're going to know is you got to be educated through this science. All this stuff is not represent nobody else. I give y'all all the books. I give y'all all the manuscripts. I say it's right here in your face. How can somebody be ancient? How can some white be ancient and old? How can a science, just like a Negro, black and colored, ain't nothing ancient about you? That's why they wear the flag. That's why you will see any Negro, black or colored Mason, they wear their fez in clandestine. And they only 32 and 33 degrees. They ain't gonna talk about this science because they've been buried in a shallow grave. And they wear a thing called talk about in memory of Harama beef. And they don't even know who Harama beef is from Tyree, which all the biblical scriptures talk about. How Jubal, and Jubalum buried him in a shallow grave and how they used the workman tools to kill him. Y'all don't even get the science, man. I'm out. Become a student. Islam.